I take happiness very seriously. It is a creed, a philosophy, and an objective. Always make the most of every sense, glory in all the pleasure and beauty which the world reveals to you. Life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. I am thankful that in a troubled world no calamity can prevent the return of spring. Poetry is the gate through which I enter the land of enchantment. Once inside the flaming wall, my limitations fall from me, and my spirit is free. The struggle of life is one of our greatest blessings. It makes us patient, sensitive, and godlike. It teaches us that although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. One goes to college to learn, it seems, not to think. Happiness cannot come from without. It must come from within. It is not what we see and touch or that which others do for us which makes us happy. It is that which we think and feel and do, first for the other fellow and then for ourselves. When you lose your vision, you lose contact with things. When you lose your hearing, you lose contact with people. What a strange life I lead, a kind of Cinderella life, half glitter in crystal shoes, half mice and cinders, but it is a wonderful life all the same. I find that fact and fancy look alike across the years that link the past with the present. Rebuffed, but always persevering, self-reproached, but ever regaining faith, undaunted, tenacious, the heart of man labors toward immeasurably distant goals. Everybody talks, nobody listens. Good listeners are as rare as white crows. The thought that my dear Heavenly Father is always near, giving me abundantly of all those things which truly enrich life and make it sweet and beautiful, makes every deprivation seem of little moment compared with the countless blessings I enjoy. Even notoriety may be turned to beneficent uses, and I rejoice if the disposition of the newspapers to record my activities results in bringing more often into their columns the word socialism. Every modern war has had its roots in exploitation. We still have it in our power to rise above the fears, imagined and real, and to shoulder the great burdens which destiny has placed upon us, not for our country alone, but for the benefit of all the world. That is the only destiny worthy of a martyr. If I, deaf, blind, find life rich and interesting, how much more can you gain by the use of your five senses? When indeed shall we learn that we are all related one to the other, that we are all members of one body? A well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers. I have depended on books not only for pleasure and for the wisdom they bring to all who read, but also for that knowledge which comes to others through their eyes and their ears. There is joy in self-forgetfulness. So I try to make the light in others' eyes my sun, the music in others' ears my symphony, the smile on others' lips my happiness. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than exposure. God is love, God is our Father, and we are His children, therefore the darkest clouds will break, and though right be worsted, wrong shall not triumph. It is not possible to refer a complex difficulty to a single cause. With a feeling of intense disgust you kick the mass of rubbish into a corner and go home, your head full of revolutionary schemes to abolish the divine right of professors to ask questions without the consent of the questioned. A man must understand evil and be acquainted with sorrow before he can write himself an optimist and expect others to believe that he has reason for the faith that is in him. Be heroes in an army of construction. What is worse than having no sight is being able to see but having no vision. Many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. There is in the blind as in the seeing an absolute which gives truth to what we know to be true, order to what is orderly, beauty to the beautiful, touchableness to what is tangible. The infinite wonders of the universe are revealed to us in exact measure as we are capable of receiving them. The keenness of our vision depends not on how much we can see, but on how much we feel. Trying to write is very much like trying to put a Chinese puzzle together. We have a pattern in mind which we wish to work out in words, but the words will not fit the spaces, or if they do, they will not match the design. The only moral virtue of war is that it compels the capitalist system to look itself in the face and admit it is a fraud. It compels the present society to admit that it has no morals it will not sacrifice for gain. Joy is a spiritual element that gives vicissitudes unity and significance. So long as you can sweeten another /s pain, life is not in vain. My friends have made the story of my life. In 1,000 ways they have turned my limitations into beautiful privileges. It is wonderful to climb the liquid mountains of the sky. Behind me and before me is God, and I have no fears. Speech is the birthright of every child. It is the deaf child's one fair chance to keep in touch with his fellows. One brief spring, musical with the song of robin and mockingbird, one summer rich in fruit and roses, one autumn of gold and crimson sped by and left their gifts at the feet of an eager, delighted child. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. What really counts in life is the quiet meeting of every difficulty with a determination to get out of it all the good there is. True teaching cannot be learned from textbooks any more than a surgeon can acquire his skill by reading about surgery. The human being is born with an incurable capacity for making the best of things. We the living should not think of the dead as lonely because if they could speak to us, they would say /do not weep for me. Earth was not my true country. I was an alien there. I am at home where everyone comes /. When it seems that our sorrow is too great to be borne, let us think of the great family of the heavy-hearted into which our grief has given us entrance, and inevitably we will feel about us their arms, their sympathy and their understanding. The civilization of a state should be measured by the amount of suffering it prevents and the degree of happiness it makes possible for its citizens. A good education is a stepping stone to wealth. If we do not like our work and do not try to get happiness out of it, we are a menace to our profession as well as to ourselves. Smell is a fallen angel.